Hey guys, Megan here, the Faithful Fibromyalgia Warrior, also known as Healing Foods Coach, coming to you live from my sun lounger in the backyard. How is everyone doing today? I hope you're doing well. I am doing so fantastically. So, first thing, before I get started with today's video, I just wanted to remind everybody that I am currently offering an introductory discount for anybody who signs up for an initial coaching and assessment with me. You'll save up to 33% off. Go check out my website for the details, www.healingfoodscoach.com, for those who are interested in working with somebody one-on-one, and all the particulars are there. So today's longer video. Today, I definitely wanted to just talk about how I've been, how things have been going. I'm 9 days now caffeine free, sort of how I'm feeling, how it's going, and so forth. So I just want to say, first of all, that I feel amazing. Completely 100% over my jet lag. I actually got over that within 3 days, which is incredible. Like, I didn't think that would be possible, but it totally happened. So that was lucky. So that made a huge part. That helped coming off the caffeine, was because the jet lag didn't kick me as bad as it normally does. So that's a positive. But to be honest with you, I have not missed the caffeine. I really haven't. I've had times where I felt tired, but overall, I have felt so much more energy with now having the caffeine out of me. It's been incredible. I've been walking loads every day, just running errands, going into town, going, for a cup of decaf or to pick up a few things here and there. And I have felt fantastic. Today, I felt so great that, when I woke up at 7, of course, it was great. I was able to sit outside and commune with nature and just spend some time meditating and praying and thinking about God and his amazing creation and how lucky I really am. Absolutely. And that was great. But beyond that, I felt so much energy, even from early this morning, that I went out, I did like an hour and a half worth of gardening. We have a whole bunch of shrubs, there's some, you can see a bit of the shrubbery in the back and right now, but there's huge like trees and shrubs and bushes all around the back part of our yard behind the house, and a lot of it had overgrown and needed to be cut back. So I got out the gardening shears and I just went to town. And I normally wouldn't be able to do a whole lot of gardening. I normally would find that I got tired far too quickly, and yet I was able to get out and I was actually able to do like a huge amount of clearing and gardening this morning, clearing like overgrowth out of the way, which is something I haven't been able to do certainly for about 10 years. And even just with recent healing, that was only something I really started to be able to do kind of a little bit last summer, but definitely not till the spring of this year. So it might seem silly, but I felt absolutely fantastic. I felt so great. And honestly, yes, of course, God has healed me, but he's done that through carnivore. I did not have the energy, the strength, the stamina, the ability to do things, the desire to want to do things. As long as I was eating all the crap, as long as I was inflamed and in chronic pain and just suffering and miserable, I had no motivation to do any of that. Now, that doesn't mean you have to suddenly, if you have seasonal allergies and you can't garden or you can't do stuff like that outdoors, my sympathies. I'm fortunate because I don't, but my husband suffers greatly. Both my sons suffer greatly. Somehow I managed to escape that, luckily. But I know a lot of people struggle with seasonal allergies at this time of year. And so if you can't, the pollen gets to you, that's okay. You don't have to do yard work. Not what I'm trying to say. Just I have suddenly, like in the mornings, I'll feel a bit more tired. I try to make sure to eat something. Typically, it's egg yolks with a lot of butter and decaf, and that's my morning started. And as my day carries on, I find the energy builds up throughout the day. And so by lunchtime, I'm feeling like I want to get out and do things. I want to move around. I want to find activities to use up my energy. I don't want to just sit around and read or, watch Netflix all day. There's some great things on Netflix, by the way. And I love a good book, always have. But I actually have the desire to get up and do so much more than I ever thought possible, even more motivated than what I used to feel long before my injury, long before the fibromyalgia and the chronic pain and inflammation, which is great. Wanting to move because I can, because it feels good, and because I have the energy to do it. Not because I've pumped myself with caffeine, not because I'm chock full of, stimulants and other, sugary, crappy foods that maybe give you a bit of energy briefly and then you crash, right? Feels so great to be off of that. Now, I do not judge anybody who wants to drink regular coffee, because I love the taste of a really well-made, good cup of coffee. And of course, obviously, I drank it for years. And so, of course, I don't judge. But I also know that it's going to throw my IBS back into full gear if I have caffeine in my system, which is the only reason why I've switched completely from regular coffee to decaf and lots of water. So if you are enjoying regular coffee and you are not struggling with gut issues or any other notable side effects, then carry on, enjoy. It is the time of year for an iced coffee. You know what? Honestly, I have really been enjoying just making cold coffee at home, putting it in a giant cup and a giant mug with ice cubes. Fantastic. And also a small tip, because it's been hot the last few days. It's been like between 28 and 30 degrees Celsius here, which is hot, really hot for the UK. Pretty normal if you're in any part of Canada or a lot of the other parts of the world. That's kind of average. It's pretty hot for us to what we're used to having. Um, and so between sweating a lot more and, just getting rid of excess fluid through urination and so forth, one of the things I definitely have been doing is making sure to put a little bit of salt in my water, to make sure that my electrolytes stay balanced. Okay. Because that can happen if you're losing a lot of fluids. You can also end up urinating out a fair bit of sodium and potassium um, when you do that. So that just ensures that I'm not losing too many electrolytes and that I'm also staying hydrated and all those other good positive things. But I've been feeling absolutely amazing. And for somebody who at one point was drinking, I mean, not for years, okay, but at one point I was drinking almost 6 cups of coffee a day, to be able to come all the way down to maybe 2 cups a day of regular to no regular coffee at all. It is possible. I'm not saying it was easy. And until I was finally ready to face the fact that I cannot do caffeine. I can't do it. It is so horrible to my gut and I feel awful afterwards. And honestly, it was starting to affect my joints. I would start to get a bit of achiness in my wrists and in my ankles if I had more than a couple of cups of regular coffee a day. I don't know if that's simply coincidental or not, but it did affect me. Now, I would say if you're lucky enough to drink regular coffee without any sort of side effects, go right ahead. It is extremely low in oxalates. It is zero carb. The coffee itself is zero carb. Okay, so it is perfectly acceptable on a carnivore diet if you choose to drink it. Oh, and by the way, as long as what you're eating, if more than 70% of what you are eating is animal product of some kind, be it the muscle meats or their byproducts like eggs, milk, dairy, you're a carnivore. You may even enjoy a little bit of fruit once in a while, maybe during, when it's in season, not loads of fruit on a daily basis. I'm not talking like 3 or 4 apples and bowls of berries at a time, but, a couple of handfuls of berries, maybe every couple of days for a couple of weeks when they're in season, go for it. You're still carnivore. I can't eat those things, as I've said in other videos, because I don't do well with any plant of any kind. that's eaten. So any food, any kind of plant that is eaten, I do not tolerate. So I don't eat them. That's me. But you can have a little bit of it. I would suggest most likely 20 grams or less for the greatest amount of effectiveness. But even if you keep your total carbs, which would include any kind of non-starchy vegetable and perhaps some fruit, to 50 grams or less a day, which is the basis of a low carbohydrate, of a therapeutic low carbohydrate diet, then you will likely be able to still see some positive results. Okay. And you are still at that point a carnivore. But for me, it has been absolutely amazing. You know, as I shared in my last video, I actually had the interest and the desire and the motivation to start trying to look for a part-time job because I have so much energy that I want to find ways to, you know, make the most of my time. Now, I don't have anything just yet. Don't know how long it's going to take. But just to let you guys know, I am still going to be doing coaching. You know, part-time is just kind of give me something to do with my day for a few hours a day, 5 days a week. Oh, there's Billy. You know, just for a few hours every day. But any time outside of that, I'm available for one-to-one coaching, consulting, and support. So, as I mentioned, please get in touch. I am offering a limited introductory discount for initial consultation and assessment appointments. Those typically are about 2 hours long. They can be less. It's just that gives me plenty of time to find out where you're at, what sort of things you're dealing with, struggling with, what you're wanting to see change, how you want to start. It just gives us enough time in a virtual setting to get kind of as much information as possible and make as many recommendations as possible, and start from there. But if you find that you only need an hour and a half or even a bit less, that's okay too. Totally flexible, either however you want to do it. But yeah, so I am absolutely still offering one-to-one coaching. I'm trying to, fill my day up with as much positive, purposeful activities as I possibly can. So I'm going to continue to make videos and content every day. I will continue to post things every day because God is working every day. And every day I think there's something new and amazing that I can hopefully share with you guys. And you guys have been so supportive and incredible. And I appreciate all of your ongoing support. It really does mean a lot to me. But like I said, a day at a time, and trusting that if I'm meant to find something part-time, I will. And hopefully in the meantime, just keep sharing with as many people as possible how incredible a carnivore diet is, because it is so healing. It has completely reversed my IBS. Now I can say that 100% because the last little bit that I had to remove in order to be healed was the caffeine. And now that that's out, I've had no IBS issues at all for the last 9 days, like zero, none, which is incredible. It was like 97, 98% reversed just through diet. And now it's completely reversed. That last little bit of removing the caffeine. Also, if you guys have seen any of my previous videos, I had a horrible breakout of rosacea come sort of late February, early March. And I think a big part of that was because I was actually going through some oxalate dumping, getting the last bit of crap out of my system. As my thyroid seems to be really working at an optimum level. That has finally healed up. Okay. I was given some stuff to try by a nurse that saw me to help with the worst of it. And I did use it quite faithfully up until about June. When I went to Canada, I was finding that suddenly it felt like worse. And I left it off for a couple of days, got out in the sun, continued on with just eating carnivore, sticking with what I know works. Beef and egg yolk, well, beef and eggs and butter. Now I was still having some bacon at that time and cured like lunch meats, but I noticed that my skin finally started to be almost 100% clear. Now it's completely clear, and I haven't had to use the skin cream in a while, which has got all kinds of other chemicals that probably don't have the best side effects. So I'm glad I'm not using it any longer. So what I'm saying is that it did take several months, but now it appears that the worst of the oxalate dumping is over, and my skin is finally cleared up and healed pretty much. Don't have anything showing up at the moment. Although I did have a hot decaf earlier, so it's slightly pink from that, but otherwise it's so clear now. And I say that just to remind myself and just for anybody else who's wondering, is it can take time. And if skin issues are a result of, say, oxalate dumping, your body detoxing itself, it could take a couple weeks, it could take several months, but please don't give up on carnivore, because honestly, as your body gets rid of the garbage and all the toxins it's had in there from years of eating garbage and crap, it will start to heal. And if you've got a lot of other conditions that you need to get better from, as I did, your skin is kind of the last thing that the body is worried about. So please stick with it. It does help. It will heal, and it is so worth it. So yeah, that's me, guys. 9 days, feeling fantastic, feeling energized, out looking forward of looking for things to do with my day. Later on this afternoon, my husband and my son and I were going to a music gig in a town not far from us, about an hour away in Barrie St. Edmunds. That's going to be awesome. A couple of local heavy metal bands that we one I don't know, one I do know because we know the guys from them, and that's going to be fantastic. And yes, you heard me. I am a Christian and I love heavy metal music. So there you go. So that'll be amazing. But so many things I can't wait to actually do and try now that I feel like I'm finally awake and alive and alert and have all this energy, all this positive energy, which are all things God wants for us. He really does. It's just sometimes we have to put in a lot of work and patiently let him work as we put in our side of the equation. But this is what he wants for us. He wants us to thrive and to enjoy good health and healing and mental clarity and the energy that comes from just looking after ourselves. And if you're not there yet, that is okay, because I wasn't. And it's not like I started eating carnivore, August of 2020, and magically I was transformed in a month. Didn't happen. It's taken now just a little over 4 years to get there, but you can get there. All right, guys, it is weirdly starting to rain a little, so that's it for me for right now. Thanks so much for your continued support. Thanks for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.